No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. You guys are cracking me up already. Oh, man, these chats are cracking me up already. There's multiple, threads in this chat already at 9 o'clock in the morning that are hilarious to me. Oh, we have fun in the summer. We can stretch it out. Dr. John, happy Friday. He's going for a tea time soon. God bless you, sir. And it looks like you made it through your physical Wednesday Wednesday. So there's nothing too urgent if you're able to get back out and golf. There's some funny stuff we need to get into. A lot of topics covered here in the chat that I want to address. I got a couple ideas of my own. Let's have some fun on a Friday, shall we? 312-988-15. Dialed up. Tell Johnny all you've seen. Obviously, you could find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, Always Irish. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. Don't want to see my face. Nobody blames you for that, my friend. Check out audio only if that's a problem. Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. He's the former captain. He's the leading tackler. It's Mike Goolsby and myself breaking it all down. We have a good time over there. Thanks to everybody who's there. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, apparently the new Pope was a White Sox fan growing up. He's a Chicago area guy. And they asked, I saw some interview with his brother because his brother's like a regular Chicago guy. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. But dad was a Cardinals fan and, mom was a Cubs fan or something. And he ended up a Sox fan. Well, you're going to have a miserable Pope then. Good start for your tenure being miserable all summer. Although I really doubt at the Vatican he's paying the extra for the satellite from the Vatican just to be able to watch the Sox lose 100 games this summer. Kidding me? Unbelievable. So dial it up. 312-988-15. Anywhere you want to go, we could go. You got the Freaky Tiki coming tomorrow. 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. I believe Tiki's going to make his announcement. Ronald says, John, what are you going to do when Boise State beats Notre Dame? It's really interesting that you bring that up because it's actually on my outline today, Ronnie. I'm getting a little, it causes me some anxiety when me and Ronald McDonald are on the same wavelength, but I literally have that exact note on my outline, Ronnie. Baby, you're on top of it, Ron. You're on top of it. Make sure on that morning shift, I'm telling you this right now, Ronald, I want you to make sure on this morning shift, every one of them hash browns is cooked thoroughly through and perfectly crispy. Not burnt, not raw with chunks of potatoes. I want all of them a full, perfect, kind of mid-brown crisp, baby. That's what I need. There ain't nothing worse than you go to McDonald's. You already got to deal with all of the people and what goes on in McDonald's. All you want in your morning is a hash brown. And you grab that thing and it comes in that little sleeve. I'll never stop yelling about this, although I have not had one meal of fast food since Blue and Gold weekend. I mean that. But you go to McDonald's and you'd get one of them hash browns and it comes in the sleeve where there's like a quarter of it out of the top and the rest is in the sleeve. and the top's always crispy and it looks all inviting, and then you feel the sleeve and it's mush. How hard is it to just cook a hash brown all the way through? I don't understand. Don't you, like, you don't even have to. Is there not just a timer you set to the perfect temperature and heat so every one of them comes out crispy? I don't understand the range of quality in this thing. You hit start for an amount of time and everyone should pop out totally cooked. Half the time I get it, it's mush or it's burnt to a crisp. Unbelievable. Anyways, 415, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. Little super chat here. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got. And I'll get through a couple of my notes. We'll go to the calls. $5 holler for the beef eater. That's a man's man, the beef eater. Notre Dame cannot recruit in its own backyard. The Pope is from Chicago, went to Villanova. Biblical recruiting fail. Yeah, dude, imagine what do we got to do? What do we got to do? College, Eric, I can't handle a mushy McDonald's hash brown. It's just a pet peeve. I'll just never understand how hard it is to set the time and the heat, hit the button, and your hash brown comes out totally cooked and crispy. I got mashed potatoes in the bottom third of that bag. Greasy, you can see right through the sheet. Just cook the hash brown the right way. Cook the hash brown the right way. Okay? It isn't that much to ask. What do you got to do to get one of these Notre Dame priests to turn into the Pope? You want to talk about recruiting and getting some worldwide attention? What does a brother got to do to get a Notre Dame priest into the Pope? Huh? Just wondering. It'd be good for recruiting. It'd be good for the recruiting. All right. Let's go over a couple of these chats. And then we'll take a couple calls and we'll go back to some of the thoughts on my idea. Let's on my notes rather. Here we go. If you're on hold, and I'll get right to you. It ain't gonna be 80 minutes. I promise this time for once. Maybe. Sly Fox. Good morning, always Irish Nation and trolls. Sly Fox, that's very respectful of you to even include the trolls. That is very nice. Heading into the weekend. 114 days till Miami. 134 till the tailgate. Ooh, we gonna have beer for breakfast, fellas. Jay Carr, he did a comprehensive review of Clayton Bigsby. It's just one of those things that is so funny to me. It transcends time. I don't even know if you could make that skit and put it on the air anymore. I don't care. It's hilarious. Multiple people have mentioned this. Belichick's girlfriend banned from the UNC facility. And then somebody else also said it. This gives me peace. And you want to know why it gives me peace? I went off the other day that something's wrong with this. Something's off with this. And if it was Marcus's wife doing all the things she's doing, that's how you got to look at this, you guys. Forget that it's Bill Belichick and all of his history and accolades and everything. Forget all of that. If it was Marcus Freeman, our coach at Notre Dame, and his wife or girlfriend was doing all the things this girl's been doing, I would be losing my mind. It's inappropriate what she's been doing. Inserting herself into interviews where she's not being interviewed, running on the field during spring ball with knee-high boots to go talk to Bill in the middle of the field during spring ball, like literally running out there during practice. You're out of your mind. I don't know who you think you are. That's completely inappropriate. Here's the other part of it, though. Someone needs to pull Belichick aside and say, you're losing credibility here. This is a bad look for you that a 24-year-old less than half of your age is making you look bad and running things, and you're not laying down the law, being like, here's the line between work and personal, and you don't cross it. He's getting walked all over, and it's a bad look for him. the king of football or whatever, and you can't even control your own living situation. It's a bad look. It's a weak look. And we all know why. Have you seen the girl? I totally understand why he's just rolling over and letting her run everything. I get it, but it's a bad look from the outside. It looks like he is the most powerful guy in football and he has no power over this. It's an awful, awful look. Seeing her running out there on the field during spring ball practice in knee-high boots was it. You can't do that. So bad look on Bill, man. Get control of your situation, bro. Come on, man. So I don't know. Phil says, callers, I'm coming to you. We got a few now. Good morning. I also watched the Bigsby skit and laughed my ass off at work. Well, good luck finding your next job. What do you mean you watched it at work? That's not a work computer type of thing, Phil. Where do you work at? That is not, I would not do that at work, man. You're going to get in trouble. So that was Phil's last day at work, but at least he had a good laugh. Look at this from the Tex ND. Going to see Shane Gillis tonight. Wish I had an Always Irish flag. Gonna give a Go Irish from the crowd. I sincerely wish you would have informed me of this, and I would have sent you one of my flags so that you could try it and see if you get a reaction out of Gillis. He's called the show. He's been in the chat. If you pulled a flag out of your drawers, and I'm guarantee he would react, and then we could clip it, and then we got a clip, and then Johnny gets to go viral. We dropped the ball, Tex. Beefeater. Pablo said on his podcast, Belichick's girlfriend's been banned from the UNC football facilities. Check it with local sources. The issue is it never should get to a point where North Carolina has to step in administratively and start dictating this. That's my point. You're doing something wrong. You're mesmerized by this girl's 24-year-old beauty when you don't even realize this is a bad look for everybody involved, and the university has to step in and tell you got to check her. Like, telling you, this guy's losing some alpha credibility here by not controlling his own situation. It's really rough, man. She should be banned. She's turning him and UNC into a circus. If he couldn't understand that, I'm telling you, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. John, would you be interested in skydiving with me? No, I would not. I went skydiving once. It was terrifying. I don't like flying. I think flying is humans testing fate. Every single time you fly, you are admitting, I'm okay if I die. Because you need to admit humans are not meant to fly 35,000 feet, 300 miles in air in an aluminum tube and figure everything's going to be fine. When you mess with nature, with the air or the ocean, sometimes nature wins. When I was 18 years old, I went skydiving. Maybe I was 19 or something. I was working at a country club in the pro shop. And the head golf pro also had his pilot's license. It was a hobby he did. He was a pilot. He says, for employee appreciation or whatever, we're closing the pro shop for a day, and I'm going to take you all skydiving at the Illinois-Wisconsin border. See Chicago, see the lake, jump out of a plane or whatever. I didn't even want to do it. I said, I don't need this in my life. And everybody said, you got to go be one of the guys. I went. I did it. I was scared. I was nervous. I lived. They told you, here's what you do. Put your arms and legs out and you'll land flat. I get out of that plane. I did 98 somersaults in a row all through the Illinois air. Never again. Never. They said, if you jump out this way, you'll land flat till you pull your chute or whatever, bro. What do you mean? I'm in a plane flying, whatever. I can't control my arms and legs. I jumped out of that plane. I did 80 somersaults in the air. What's this guy talking about? You'll fly flat. Picture my gangly arms and legs flipping all over. The chute opened, Most relieved I've ever been in my life when I felt that thing yank my newt sack and everything else up where that harness is. When it catches the air, you go and then you go up because it catches the air. Good luck having kids after that. I learned that the hard way when that air kicks in because that harness is strapped under your legs, kind of. Never again. Phil, I'll go watch you do it. I'll sit on the ground and watch you come back down. I ain't doing it. I tested it once and I lived. How many times do you expect me to jump out of a perfectly functioning plane on purpose? But I don't crave. I ain't no adrenaline junkie. I don't crave this stuff. Who needs that worry that you're going to splat on the pavement somewhere? I don't need it. So I would be happy to go and watch you do it. I did it once. You can't say I never did it. And I got photos and a video to prove it. But I don't need that. I don't need that. John gets enough adrenaline reading comments from Ronald. He doesn't need to jump out of a plane. You're damn right. I did it once. How many times are you going to test the laws of gravity before nature's going to say, you know what? This guy's pushing us too hard here, and he's going bye-bye. Like, honestly, it's arrogant of humans to think we could just push the levels of all this stuff and it'll all be fine. That's why I appreciate tornadoes. That's why I respect the power of the ocean. The concept of gravity. There's some things humans can't harness and manipulate, and I respect those things. In a lot of ways, those are the most natural things, and I like them. I like them. So whatever, man. I don't need to be no skydiving. What do you think I am, an idiot? Shane, we got always Irish people in the crowd tonight. You want them to yell something? Because we could arrange that. I'm mad I didn't give them a flag to bring to represent the squad. I don't want to interrupt your show, though, but it would have been, I've done it before, man. I'll give some people a flag to bring somewhere. You roll that baby up. It looks like a Snoop Dogg rolled special. You put it in your jeans. Nobody knows. And at the right time, boom, there it is. Always Irish, baby. Once John gets jacked, he'll start wearing those affliction t-shirts. He'll get more adventurous. Yeah, I'm going to show up at the next tailgate with a skull on my shirt with a bunch of lightning bolts or whatever. Isn't that what those are? Those afflictions? I don't know. Just imagine me with roid rage, everybody. Like, I'm already the way I am. Could you imagine it with roid rage? It'd be good for the ratings. It would be. John, would you jump off a cliff with the wingsuit? What do I look like, an eagle? What are you talking about? Am I going to jump off a cliff in a wingsuit? He will raise you up on eagles. And then there goes John right into a cliff. Always Irish channel, just be sitting there empty forever. Everybody be tuning in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Where are you? There I am, splatted on the side of some cliff. Who needs that? Who needs it? I don't need it. I don't need that in my life. I get my excitement in the basement with you fine people. I don't need that. I don't need it. Okay? I just don't. And listen, I am not trying to be mean to Belichick's girlfriend, but this situation's gotten out of control. And I feel validated that my feeling that this was all awkward and inappropriate has been validated by North Carolina being like, you can't have this girl around. It's a bad look. Belichick should be smart enough to know this. And if not, somebody needs to pull him aside and say, look at her. I understand why you're letting her run your whole life, but you have a new job here and it's inappropriate to have her running around the field in knee-high boots. You're distracting the team. So whatever, man. It's I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And so I understand it. It's just a bad move. I expect more from the biggest alpha in the whole sport than to have his little girlfriend half his age running his life. John wants knee-high boots for his birthday. Let's make it happen. Oh, yeah, that'd be a real good look. That'd be a real good look for me. Believe me, for sure. Okay, here's what we got. You're getting freaky with Tiki tomorrow, right? 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 our time. He's supposed to commit. I'm expecting Notre Dame. I like that he's 285 pounds already. That's a frame you could add weight to. That's a frame you could take weight off. Spit it out. I really like that. And so that'll be good. And then the running back coming up, I don't know, man. Notre Dame's on a little bit of a roll. Let's just hope they maintain these guys. I'm sick and tired. Let's just get it out of the way. I am sick and tired of sitting there all summer and logging in 247. Oh, Notre Dame, number 2 recruiting class. John feels good. I'm walking around town. I got a little mojo in my step when I pick up that soggy ash brown from Ronald McDonald's. And I'm walking around feeling good all summer. John wakes up 247. Notre Dame, number 1, number 2 recruiting class. We're cooking, baby. Signing day comes and we drop like a rock in the ocean I almost drowned in. Every single stupid year. And what happens? John falls for it every year. I need that little boost of comfort every day in the summer to see that we're number 1, number 2, number 3 recruiting. I feel good about myself. Not so fast, my friend. Every year. Every single year. And it drives me nuts. So, whatever, man. So, let's see what the freak... By the way, I got 2 NIL deals for Tiki Hola. I get freaky for Tiki is number 1. If that t-shirt's a little too edgy for you, how about holler for Hola? His last name's whatever, Hola, holler for Hola. So I got one that's a little pushy. I get freaky for the Tiki. And then you can have, if that's too much, holler for Hola. There you go. Wide receiver recruit from USC decommitted. Notre Dame just offered a swoop in for the kill, baby. It's for the thrill of the kill. And they got 25, 26, 27 verbals already. I think our boy Chad went out there full Spicoli. Whoa, bud. I'm just here to catch a tasty wave and do some recruiting at the Diddy parties. Whatever. You got him out there. He's just signing everybody. I got news for you. I don't think all them people are going to last. That's my suspicion here. Go ahead and let USC load up on 30 of these guys this early. Let's see how many of them stick. But Chad is full LA, bro. Let's catch a tasty wave while we do some recruiting, dude. Totally tubular. Bugging me. Chad's on my last nerve. Belichick's girlfriend's on one last nerve. Chad's on my other last nerve. And whoever's making soggy ash brown at Rick Donald's is on my last nerve. Unbelievable. But who's the starting quarterback? One of the young guys. If I had to bet my money, I'm betting it on CJ. I don't know if that's going to happen. If I had to bet, I would bet on CJ. And that builds Miami into something special. You got all the intrigue of the first games of the year. Notre Dame's going to have that standalone window on Sunday of the holiday weekend. All the main games are going to be Saturday. Everybody's distracted in their own little world, right? No. Not when you get to Sunday. Sunday, it's Catholics versus convicts all over again, baby. Just the way it should be. All of America, all the football fans. NFL doesn't start yet. Remember, they start a week or two later in college football. Everybody in America is going to be craving that football. And they're all tuning in to watch you. And it's going to be the Catholics versus the convicts all over again. And I'm here for it. I can't wait. That place is going to be filled with people with more arrests than they have brain cells in that dump. Go in there and ruin them. I'm already getting worked up already. What have I got? The rest of May, June, July, August. I got like 5 months and look at me all worked up already. Don't do it to me. Mark with glasses, what's going on? 415, your regular coming up, 9492. What's going on, Mark?
Oh, not a whole lot. Has anybody seen, is this new pope actually a Notre Dame fan?
No, I haven't seen that. I saw in the local Chicago news where they interviewed his brother and asked him Sox versus Cubs, and they said Sox. I haven't seen anything about Notre Dame.
Okay, yeah, I've just seen it, like a lot of people like questioning it. I was just wondering if that's like confirmed or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I mean, is it going to do any good? You know how many times before a big game I went to that grotto and said, just let this prayer work this time? And it didn't. Do you know how many times, Mark? I was out there 3 different times all through the night for Bush Push night. 2 at midnight, 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I'm down there alone saying, just give me this one, man. If you just let me get this one, I won't ask for anything else. And look how that turned out.
Yeah, my son's going over there in a couple months. I'll have him see if everything's on the up and up over there. Maybe he'll see what's what. But that was wild to see. But yeah, to your title here, my intrigue level is off the charts for a few reasons.
Yeah, let me hear them. I want to hear. Let me see. Here's what I want to do.
I got 3 reasons.
Yeah, I want to see if your reasons match up with mine of like the beginning, the first part of this schedule, and the kind of the way it's set up and what we're doing coming into it. I want to know why it's so intriguing. Let's see if our lists overlap.
Okay, well, 1, I'm intrigued because this team is going to be good. 2, the strength of schedule, and 3, there isn't a clear-cut favorite. It feels more wide open, and we just saw a couple months ago that, kind of the blueprint. But and I would love to see a game-by-game breakdown of, like, you and Goolsby go through all 12 games and maybe give your confidence percentages or your predicted point spreads or whatever. And then, like, maybe I'm crazy, but nobody on this schedule even comes close to scaring me. And I was kind of looking at other school schedules in comparison to kind of see what other people are dealing with. And I think our path is way easier than most every other team. Like just like a couple examples. Like I was looking at Alabama's schedule. Like they've got at Florida State, at Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, and at Auburn. Like if you look at that and you compare our schedule or some of these top-heavy schedules like Ohio State, Texas, Illinois, Penn State, like they're playing playoff caliber teams, and we're playing teams that may be good.
Yeah, it's the Mark, the way I look at it though is I could see it that way. But I could also see some ways in my worrisome Notre Dame mind, like I'm always worried about something. There are ways this could go sideways on Notre Dame early, easily. Like, not that they're not going to be a really solid, good team, but I could see some things turning early against you that make it tough. Getting off to a good start is seriously, critically important for whatever this year's going to be. And then that gets you into breaking in a new quarterback at Miami and then hosting A&M. That's a big stretch. And you don't know how it's going to go when you run a new guy out there for the first time. That's a huge moving factor here that I can't wait to see.
Yeah, and I also think like nightmare scenario, like my question would be, what team, if any, on the schedule has the best chance to be that weird Marshall NIU type game? Like, which team could be that this year and kind of give us a run for the money where we're not even like anticipating it being a game? I don't know who that would be, but I'm always that's kind of always on our radar. But and like obviously, like once the season starts, I'm going to defend our strength of schedule. It's kind of like standard operating procedure for every fan base, is like making it more than it is. And maybe some of these teams end up being better than they are, but just looking at the schedule as a whole, I feel more kind of excited about it because I feel like we're the clear favorite in every one of these games.
Yeah, man, I could see it. It's just there are a couple things that could go wrong here. Number one, Mark, is if you get this team's going to be really, really good. That isn't my concern. How good are they going to be, and how quickly is it going to take them to get there? Does that make sense? I am convinced this team's going to be really good. How long does it take to get them to be really, really good? Is it right away, or can you win games while you're not that great yet and then you get there? Like, that's my question. Is I believe they're going to be good. How good can they be, and how long does it take to get us there? Those are a couple of big questions. Something else that could go wrong, Mark, is you have a really, really good team, but the young quarterback makes a couple rookie mistakes you can't overcome. And you end up with a really good team that has 2 losses halfway through the season, and you're backed into a corner. But it's a really, really good team, and you just had a quarterback throw a couple pick sixes at the wrong time because they're young and didn't read the coverage. That's all it takes to get backed into a corner in the early part of this schedule. And you got to admit, that's on the menu when you have a new starting quarterback. That's on the menu. I hope all the things supporting that guy are strong enough that he doesn't have to be a hero and can kind of take it easy and ease into this. But I'm open to all of it, good, bad, and in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it, especially why we worried about the first 2 games, is not having that warm-up game with the inexperience. But at least there's a bye week, like kind of in between. But what were your reasons?
Mark, this team's going to be good. This team's going to be good. It's just, I think if you get through the first couple weeks in relatively good shape, if you could get to the halfway point here with just 1 or no losses, I think Notre Dame's going to be really good on the back half. Everything come together other than injuries ravaging the program like last year. If you got to navigate that first stretch with 1 or no losses, and Notre Dame's in good shape. If you drop 2, this is going to be rough. It leaves you no margin for error whatsoever. And Mark, I don't know if I could trust Notre Dame to do the run they did last year, winning all them games in a row from week 2 again. I just think that might be a lot to ask. So avoid putting yourself to have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking at it, like when you kind of look at it practically and you look at the strength of schedule and kind of project where it's gonna kind of end up. Like I feel like even with the questions that they have, that it's very manageable and borderline easy from afar. And we're also acting like we're the only team that has, like, all these concerns. And Ohio State lost a ton of players and 2 coordinators, and they don't have a quarterback. And I think they open up with Texas, and I'm sure they'll handle it fine. And I expect that we'll handle it fine.
Yeah, it's and the other thing, somebody's bringing up Ash. If that defense is what it should be and it doesn't get ruined or messed up in any way, man, that'd go a long way to supporting that young quarterback. When you don't feel like you need to score 40 points to win a game, if that defense could be tight again, it gives you a lot of freedom to ease into this offensively. That's a big part of it. And there's the talent there, but I got to see Ash do it and know he ain't going to ruin it till I believe it.
Yeah, and we've got so many good things going. Like, I think we've got, if not the best coaching staff, one of the best coaching staffs. We got the best running back in the country. We've got dudes all over the defense. So I feel like we're always going to worry because, we're Notre Dame fans and that's what we do. But there's enough things that I think we can string along as he figures it out and gets his feet under him. But it's just those first 2 games everybody's looking at that will dictate the whole damn thing.
Yeah, it's man, it's a high pressure situation. And that bye week or the off week, whatever we agree to call it, in between Miami and A&M is a critically important week for Notre Dame. Whether you have all the momentum in the world after Miami or you're down in the dumps, that off week early in the season is going to be maybe the most important week of the Notre Dame schedule. And I mean that. There's going to be a lot riding on that off week, whether it is 1-0 and you're feeling great, or you're 0-1 staring 0-2 in the face if A&M beats you. You cannot be in that position. That off week in the middle and how Notre Dame handles it is going to be a big part of this year.
Yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, I just like to see a breakdown week to week through the schedule, whether you're able to do that or run through that with Goolsby. I think it'd be cool to see. I know he's not worried at all about week one as far as his confidence, but
I worry about everything, so I'll pick up the worry on his behalf, and hopefully we run right through him the way he thinks. So Mark, I love you, buddy. Thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you this weekend.
All right, later. Bye.
Later, bro. Oh, Mark with glasses. We got callers. Tom, Chris, $10 holler. I owe you guys an email. I want to talk to you about some things. So I owe you guys an email. Thanks for the $10 holler. I really appreciate that. Pilney, $10 holler. Ash's strength has been as a DC, not a head coach. Freeman would not pick someone who won't fit. He wasn't backed into a corner like the Parker situation. I understand that. That's perfectly reasonable, Pilney. I totally understand that. And a lot of the knocks on Ash have to do with his tenure as the head coach at Rutgers. And I understand those criticisms. And I would be gravely concerned if he was the head coach. Right? Like whenever you see a negative write-up on Ash, it brings up the Rutgers nightmare and how bad his record was and all that stuff. Like, he's not coming here to be the head coach and renovate a whole program and do all that. He's not. All he's here to do is literally don't mess up the good defense we have. Literally. That's it. Don't mess up the good defense we have. So there's the positive stuff with the Ohio State year that he was running the defense or co-defense coordinator or whatever. But the Rutgers stuff is a blight on the resume, but I'm not having him come in here to be the head coach. I'm having him come in here just to not mess up the defense. Don't mess up a good thing. But till I see that it isn't messed up, it's on the menu that it could be messed up. I'm just sorry, man. Whenever there's change like this, what are you just going to say everything's going to be fine out of why? Because you want it to be? Don't you have an obligation responsibly to wait and see that it's fine before you make an opinion? Negative or positive, I'm saying you need to be sitting there going, I'm not having an opinion on Ash until I see how it goes at Notre Dame. This ain't Rutgers. This ain't Rutgers. By the way, just what an ugly school name. Have you ever thought about that? Like Cornell sounds like fancy and like Regal Cornell or something. What do you mean at Rutgers? Even just saying Rutgers like puts you in a bad mood. I don't, there's something about that word I don't like. Roger Dodger, don't mess up the defense is all Ash have to do. Don't make it better. Well, can I worry about one thing at a time? The first thing is don't mess it up. Once I see you ain't messing it up, then we'll move on to lesson 2, bro. I got to worry about one thing at a time. Show me you're not going to mess it up first, and then we'll talk about, okay, you're locking down Miami. Now I'm interested. Now let's see how good we can get. But you got to do one thing before you do 2 things. What's that old 80s song? One thing leads to another. Yeah, I want to make sure you don't mess it up first, and then you could try and fix it and make it better. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know nothing. All right, I got to get back to these calls. One more chat here. Ash doesn't make adjustments. There ain't much to adjust when you're at Rutgers other than leaving. What do you mean he doesn't adjust? The only thing you adjust when you're coaching at Rutgers is not coaching at Rutgers. There's your adjustment. I'm going to say this, man. I think, Philip, that suit, man, you are looking tidy, my man. Oh, I like it, Philip. I think two things are important. Number one, we're playing Miami in the first game with CJ. Secondly, we have a week off before we play A&M, which sets up pretty well for the first two games. If you win week one, it sets up great. You have all the momentum in the world. You'll have all the good publicity, the national thing. Notre Dame's back to go. They found their new quarterback. If you beat Miami, that off week's going to be important to make sure this program stays grounded and has their eye on the prize, and you're not reading all your headlines from how awesome you are, and then you go lay an egg in your second game. Ooh, wait a second. Does that sound familiar to anybody in Notre Dame land? Does that scenario ring a bell to anybody here about winning your first game, getting all the national credibility and attention, and then laying a big fat steamer in your second game, not taking it serious? I'm just saying there's lessons to be learned here. So if you win week one, the challenge is maintaining that intensity, not reading your publicity, and then going in there against A&M with a break. And then if you win against Miami, you'll be able to look at the film, figure out what the young quarterback did good, what they did bad, what you want to change, what you want to, maybe you learn that the quarterback's capable of more than you thought. You can open that playbook. Maybe you learn he was a little overwhelmed, but the defense smothered Miami, and you want to pare it down and make it a little simpler for him to build into this offense. You can learn a lot in that in-between week. Here's the danger, though. Callers, I'm coming to you. Here's the danger. If you lose week one, it's going to be a long half a month till A&M comes to town, and the vibe's going to be poop. The vibe is going to be manure. If you lose that game to Miami, the media and people like me and everybody else, you have 2 full weeks to be able to talk about all that went wrong with Notre Dame and their new young quarterback. And then you have A&M coming to town, and even though it's going to be the first home game and everybody's paying big money because it's A&M, you know damn well if you lose to Miami, the vibe is not going to be what it should be for A&M. It's not possible. It's not going to be physically possible if you start out 0-1 to have the right vibe I want in that building for A&M. So that's a whole different thing you need to manage. And then you're in a position after week one where you have one loss to feel like you have to run the table and you have A&M coming. You got to avoid that. You better beat Miami. Telling you that. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. $5 holler. The key this year, don't lay a steamer in any game. Don't lay a steamer in any game. I love the maturity level of this program. Don't lay a steamer in any game, and make sure Love gets at least 20 catches. Yeah, the offensive line is a big part to the discussion. The offensive line is a big part of this. If you have a good defense against Miami and the O-line is able to move people, man, that is the best way to protect that young quarterback if he doesn't have to be a hero. It's awesome. I thought Caden retired. He called in. Well, he ain't calling here. And if he does, he ain't getting in. 757, what's going on? If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What's up?
Hey, John. Good morning, sir. Hey, I think it's a really good sign that, we're all fired up and getting pumped up for the season. We got to, that energy, I think, is infectious. And honestly, right, it's like folks say, what is it, early May, and we're sitting here yelling about Notre Dame football. I mean, there's not a ton of fan bases who necessarily do that. So I think it's really good stuff. And I enjoyed the show on Wednesday.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Dude, listen, in this season, it's easy because everybody's in football mode. You get into your routine of who you watch before games and after games. Like, that is really, really easy. But all the off-season stuff, man, that's the engine that makes this all go. Because you're just able to stretch your legs a little bit. There's still enough interest and enough going on that you could have a show as much as I do. And it's for the diehards, man. The people that don't take a summer break and just rejoin in August. This is for the diehards when you're in May, June, July yelling about all this stuff. And I love all you crazy people.
Yep, it's good stuff. Hey, so one mature thought. So I do think, listening to some of the national guys, we'll see it when it happens. but they're talking about the the Presidential Commission on College Sports and the potential kind of paring down of the Big Two, kind of getting us off that trajectory would be a potential outcome. I think that would be just on the surface of it, without seeing the details. I think that would be incredible for Notre Dame.
So what are we? Okay, now what are we talking about? Are we talking about like a split down the country where there's like a line drawn and it's like you're in the NFC or AFC, or like what are we doing?
No, what I heard, it was it was Josh Pate, but essentially you're saying that the conference affiliated grants of rights deals would get thrown out the window, right? So then shifting more to a NFL model to where all the different because the biggest disparity, right, is the broadcasting rights that the networks have with the conferences creates the huge mismatch between, say, the Big 12 and SEC, right? So the have-ins and like the haves and have-nots. And so they would try to get similar sort of model because no one bids on the NFC or the AFC. They just bid on the NFL. And so then it gets distributed to the Cleveland Browns just as it does to the Dallas Cowboys, which helps promote parity. Right? In my mind, the only thing that would force Notre Dame to go to a conference is if the numbers just get so out of whack based on, bigger and bigger conferences getting bigger broadcasting deals, or exclusion from the playoff, which I think would be tied directly to, the underlying money situation.
Yeah, so I'm with you. When I think about what could force Notre Dame to have to give up independence officially and either join the Big Ten or the AFC or whatever we're going to call it, couple things come to mind. If whoever the committee is makes the hoops too flaming for Notre Dame to have to jump through to make the playoff, like if they keep finding ways to make it harder and harder and penalize Notre Dame, that's tough. And then the money thing is tough. If the conference deals are paying out double what you are, how could you keep up as a program? That's a potential problem. And then you have the fielding Yost 100-year ago problem of getting a scenario where everybody convinces their conference teams their conference is hard enough. You don't need to schedule Notre Dame. Don't do it. And then Notre Dame has trouble filling out a robust, tough schedule, and they either have to add more lame ACC teams on top of the 5-team deal or whatever. And so I think a lot of people do see the appeal of playing Notre Dame, especially the ACC, since they get a bigger TV payout now for bigger TV numbers. The teams that draw numbers get more of the pie. So it's smart to have Notre Dame on that. But I don't want to play an ACC schedule. It's boring.
Yeah, I agree. I would just say, I think we're well positioned with Bavacqua to kind of navigate if there's going to be changes. And I think the least bad scenario, well, I guess the best case scenario is everything just stays as it is. We continue to be, in the top 5-ish range, and then, give ourselves a good opportunity for a national championship every few years, and things essentially stay as they are. But I say the least bad is like, they shift to some sort of non-monopolistic broadcasting deal, right? So maybe we have to give up our NBC exclusivity, and they might show some of our games, if Fox wins the bid for us that week or whatever, however they do in the NFL. But it's an equal share for everybody. I think that would be, honestly, you'd probably see a lot more teams go independent. You would see teams go back to regional-based conferences because you want to have, the need to get included in, say, the Big Ten because the money difference is so much bigger than if, you had a Big East or whatever the kind of legacy conference affiliations were.
Yeah.
But I just think all that's good. So,
man, I
guess all I'm saying is I'm somewhat optimistic about Notre Dame's position going forward.
Here's what I'm optimistic about and what I have trust in. And maybe you can tell me if you agree. I don't know. Maybe I'm being mean. I have so much more operational confidence in Pete Bavacqua navigating these changing seas much more than I do Swarbrick. And I don't know if that's fair or not. I just feel like I'm on the same page with Bavacqua with what he says and does a lot more than Jack, who always felt like he was lawyering you, not telling you the full story or like protecting. There was always some vibe, but like, you don't know if you're getting the real story from Jack, and you don't know if he really gets the modern reality we're in. I trust Bavacqua to navigate this smartly. He's a TV guy, a Notre Dame guy. I trust him fully to navigate all this in a way I wouldn't have trust in Jack. Maybe some people think that's not fair. Maybe it's a personality thing that I just feel like I understand Bavacqua. This is the most stability I've seen with the Notre Dame program in 30 years. On the field, off the field, administratively, you're in a real solid spot.
Yep. I think it's all good stuff. And so, I mean, when it comes down to it, right, there's a national fan base. I don't see us under Marcus Freeman going into the pits of despair as far as not being competitive on an annual basis, and I think we're in a really good spot. So it's almost like, we kind of have somewhat of a recession-proof so long as the team holds up there into the bargain, with being very competitive and continue on their upward trend, that eyes are going to watch, and fundamentally that's ultimately what all this comes down to. So, again, the passion that causes us to talk and yell about during Miami 6 months ahead of time and be pumped up, that's all, that is really the commodity that needs to be protected, because that makes everything else run. I'll leave you with a less mature take. Man, forget SC. We don't need them. If they're going to be acting crazy, maybe they need a break. Only thing I would want to see is, CMF should, or Coach Freeman should go out there, and I don't think that's really an area where we need to be PC. Like, if they're obviously pulling out because they think it's too hard of a schedule to make an extra trip to Notre Dame to protect, the most storied historic rival in, intercollegiate, was it? Whatever. How are they talking about the SC Notre Dame rivalry? Then F them. And if, I just like, that is such a bad culture move from them / all the other problems they got going on, that I think if they want to go off and do their own thing, and, this case for them, they go 10-2 or something in the Big Ten and get crushed in the first round of the playoffs. Well, that's what they get. And then if they, a few years down the road, they have a change of administration and they come back to Notre Dame at that point, I think we're merciful, and, in the spirit of forgiveness and reconciliation, we could put it back on the schedule, but we definitely don't need to do some ridiculous.
Listen, I would be really upset and sad, genuinely sad, not angry, like genuinely sad to see that year-to-year rivalry go away. But if it's going to go away, as long as it's from their end, I could live with it. I'm going to hate it. I hate it because I love the rivalry every year. But if it's got to go away and they're the ones that do it, I can at least sleep at night knowing they did it. And whatever the reason they're going to use, the Big Ten is pressuring on, whatever they're going to blame the Big Ten and that new schedule and the travel and everything, whatever it is, I'll be able to sleep at night as long as it's from their end. If it was our end, I'd be so embarrassed. I might shut down the channel. You'll never see me again.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess all I would say, obviously I want them to play every year because I think the game is great. But if it does end up, it has to be publicly known that it was their unwillingness to play in South Bend or whatever the normal rotation would be. It was definitely not a Notre Dame thing, and that I need to see some barbs from Coach Freeman and Pete Bavacqua, whatever. It can't be some anodyne press statement that due to whatever the deal is paused. I need to see some fire and like, hey. As a Catholic institution, we read in the catechism, we don't pull out. Irish by a million.
Oh,
let's go. Done.
Nicely done on a Friday. Have a good one. We're going to end that call right there. Very creative. Homer TD, $10 holler. Tony, God bless you. I mean this sincerely. I know we're having a silly good time today. Pat. Tony, I know you got some tough family stuff going on, and may the new Pope, the Sox fan that he is, bless you and your family. I know you're going through a lot. I'm thinking of you. The whole family is. God bless you, Tony. You're a good man. You're a good man. How many wrenches does it need? Tex ND, I know you're hurt that you weren't next on the wrench list. I know. Maybe I need to kick you one. I could trust your judgment. In the season, it gets so busy, man. I can't just expect Pat to be able to see everything. I needed to give people a little more control here to be able to navigate. Look at this. What callers? I'm coming right back to you. Beef Eater, $5 holler. I had a thought. I had a though. And technically, I had a though. Notre Dame loading up on a number of Clemson-like agreements creates a de facto super conference and undermines the pending Big Ten cartel with the SEC. I like that. Yeah, if you can do enough of those where you're going to play enough of those people all the time. And that gets me to another point. Callers, I'm coming to you. That gets me to another point. I'm going to do a whole episode on what the 2029 Notre Dame schedule looks like. It is juicy. You are hitting all the main power conferences and at the top quadrant of them. Oh, that 29 schedule is juicy. You know what? The only moving question factor is on just how juicy it's going to be is USC on that schedule. I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If I am erring here, correct me. I believe 26 is the last year that Notre Dame and USC are scheduled to play. And it is a lot, follow me here. It is a lot easier if you're USC's athletic department to simply not engage in the contractual stuff you need to add those games to the 27, 28, 29 schedule. It's a lot easier to not add them than it is to have them and back out. That is where I'm at in my mind with this whole thing is if they're not on any schedule past 26, it's so much easier to just keep it moving in the Big Ten and whatever, and not address it. That's a lot easier than paying a fee to cancel out of a contract for a game that's already scheduled in future years. And then that becomes a huge public thing when you go out of your way to pay a fee to get a game off a schedule is different than just not adding one on a schedule when you're not on it yet. That's what I'm looking at. USC's just going to act like nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Notre Dame's not, la, 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 nothing's on the schedule with, and then just keep it moving. That's a lot easier than having to go out of your way to backtrack out of a schedule you're already on. That's what they're going to do. Roger Dodger, come on. Your people are ruining our rivalry. Son of a buck. $5 holler from Philly. If no skydive, how about whitewater rafting and zip lines? Now, the whitewater rafting I'll do. Then again, with the zip lines, what do I look like? MacGyver? What are you going to do with it, Phil? You got me jumping out of planes? You got me jumping off of cliffs? What do I look like? Superman? What are you do? Are you having a midlife crisis, Phil? You're finding a way to go ahead and do everything crazy? I'll go whitewater rafting. What does everything have to do with heights? Why do I got to? It's either heights or I'm in the bottom of the ocean. Give me a break. I like the ground. We could go whitewater rafting. I'll do that. The zip line is, Pat, me too. I did it once. I survived. And I no longer feel the need to tempt fate by jumping out of a perfectly functioning plane and hoping things work out with a sheet on a rope. That's all a parachute is, a sheet on a rope. That's the only thing between you and splatting like a bug on your windshield on the highway, bro. A rope and a sheet. Oh, yeah, bungee jump. Yeah, that'd be real good for John. You ever see on YouTube where bungee goes wrong? They go down and the first bounce goes fine, and then they go up and their legs get tangled in the rope or their neck. You end up looking like them pirates in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie when Johnny Depp first goes in that little dinghy and he acknowledges the pirates hanging there with their necks sideways. I ain't going bungee jumping. You outside your mind? Look up, bungee goes wrong. People jump down and come up and hit the bottom of the bridge they jumped off of. The rope tangles around you like an umbilical cord on a baby when something goes wrong. Don't mention snorkeling. I did that. I almost died. Just leave me alone. I got enough problems. Son of a buck. Zip lines, I've seen that go wrong too. We're going to go over the woods, over the mountain, and you go down, and then right when the way things go for me, there'll be a sign that'll say, no accidents here in 14 years or whatever. John gets on that zip line. It'll be the one time there's a little fray in the line, and then John, and then it goes down. And everybody's recording it on TikTok, and they're going, oh, something went wrong. Look at this idiot. And there I go into the woods like Sonny Bono. Unbelievable. Pat, God bless Lauren. I didn't know that was going on. Jeez. How about tightrope walking? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, no problem. I'll go on a tightrope. Oh, don't worry. You got a little stick to balance you. What are these people, nuts? John's afraid of the world. You guys are naming every extreme sport there is. What's next? Why don't you ski down Mount Everest, John? Well, you guys are naming the wildest things you could do and acting like I'm lame for not wanting to do them. What do you mean? Oh, why don't you just cliff jump, John? It'll be fun. Recorded as content. Extreme for me would be eating a salad. You want to talk about extreme sports? Put a salad in front of me. Woof. What do I look like? Peter Rabbit? 949 on the line. What's up?
First of all, print a T-shirt. You know, and Shane would wear it. I have a sneaking feeling. As soon as USC does pussy out, you print a T-shirt, always Irish, we don't pull out. Shane will wear that.
And you put it in their colors. Maroon with the lettering in yellow, and you put it in their colors. I think we're onto something here. I like it.
And the students wear it for that game.
I'm telling you, I
awesome.
like it. I like where this is headed. The creativity of this chat is off the charts.
Mark with glasses, hit the graphics. Let it fly. Also, speaking of Shane, you should have had him with a flag at the papal announcement. He comes out with the always Irish flag right in front of the Pope before the Pope steps out. And then the flag comes down, and there's the Pope.
I like it. And then he could have a little a little firework burning that smoke off to give the same vibe with the smoke.
While he's wearing an always Irish cap.
Oh, man. We are stretching the bounds of Catholicism on this show. That's for sure. I like it. These are good ideas.
Okay, well, I got to give you at least one thing you may not agree on, and this is a little support, well, a little consideration for Belichick. And here's why. In 20 or 30 years, you'll better understand. Alpha males at that age have gone decades making decisions, always being the responsible one. You get to a certain age, you don't give a flip, and you got somebody with more energy that can do all the stuff that you don't have to anymore.
That is really good. Oh, man, that is all right. That is a really genuinely a fair angle on this. However, if he retired from coaching football and was just doing media stuff independently and she was butting in or whatever, that's different. But when you're still doing the football thing, I still think even if what you're saying is going on, which I understand philosophically, you got to draw a line when it comes to the new job and understand when you're crossing it. And it's starting to become a problem for your new employer. That's what what you're saying makes perfect sense. But if you're still working, you have an obligation to think about how it's making your new employer look when you do that. Just because you're having a final quarter life crisis doesn't mean North Carolina's got to deal with it. That's my problem.
Culturally, I agree with you, although in other cultures, especially the Hispanic culture, especially South America and the islands, it's amazing how many males have way younger girlfriends, wives, etc.
Yeah.
And there are some Hispanic cultures where it's expected that you have a wife and a younger girlfriend, which kind of blows me away, but it gives me new hope for a new place to live if the country ever goes to hell in a handbasket.
I don't know what you're on today, but I like it.
Anyway, here's what I'm on. 114 days. I think I've used up enough airtime. Let's step aside, let somebody else come in. But I just want to put those thoughts out there because I don't think they've yet to be considered. And I got to side with Belichick on this one. Yeah, if people can't handle it, that's on them. That's not on him, in my opinion, but so be it.
Yeah, man, good stuff. That's good stuff. And I'm going to write down that TV idea so I don't forget it. And I'll have the template prepared. So when they make the announcement official, all I got to do is hit one button and the t-shirt will be live. I'll tweet it and then we see how it does. I like it.
Awesome. That sounds like a viral moment.
Oh, that's a good idea. Have a good weekend, man. Oh, that's a good idea. You guys are full of answers. I really like this. I really do. My main man, Martinez, and then Nicky Dean coming after that. What's up, my main man?
Johnny, hold on a second. Johnny, there you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much, man. So 2025, that's what the topic is, right? Hey, real quick, I heard you right now. You're like, what if I go bungee jumping? It'll be the day that I get it around my neck, or why would I do that and live dangerously? Hey, Johnny, I'm going to give you a hard time. You know, that's some BK style of thinking there, Johnny.
I'm just
good enough, but not good enough. Not good enough to win the big one.
Listen.
I got to give it to you, Johnny.
Listen, man, I have the humility to understand that I can't control certain things like gravity and the weather and the ocean. And that's why I have a reverence for the power of the ocean or the power of a tornado. All these things humans can't manipulate and control. I have great respect for. One of them is gravity. And that's why I ain't jumping out of a perfectly good flying plane ever again.
I've bungee jumped. I zip lined. I've done some. Hey, picture this.
Zip lines?
Did
you do zip lines or regular lines?
No, I did zip lining. Yeah. I'm into that. You know, like I tell you, especially when I'm sober, I got to get a thrill for something.
Yeah.
Living as exciting I did before.
Well, then you got to record it.
Exciting.
Have somebody record it next time, and we'll post it on the channel. My main man Martinez goes down the zip line. I want to see it.
I will, brother. I will. Hey, few quick things that I heard people talk about. Miami. Everybody's worried about Miami. I'm not sure. You know, I know Miami's going to play us tough, especially in Miami. I think we'll get through it. You know what I mean? Like we've seen over and over. Marcus shows up for the big games. It's those. The
other ones.
It's those
the in between.
It's those rocking your shoes. You know, Marshalls. NIUs. That's gotten us right.
Okay.
The big games. You know.
So, my main man, what do you think Freeman and this program have learned from all of that with those struggles in Northern last year? Are you hopeful that we're beyond that and that he's kind of learned how to protect us from having those letdowns? Like, or are you still wait and see because we've had at least one every year where we kind of no-show? Like, how are you looking at it?
No, I think it did. I think he's finally realized. I think they're finally realizing that. And remember, the older kids, Cross and all them, I think might have been. I think he helped recruit them, but eventually they were Kelly's class and stuff. But I think he's given them the mindset that you go into every game knowing that it's your last. Like he says it over and over. Don't beat Notre Dame. Everybody's already trying to beat them. He says you only get 12 guarantees these a year, especially for your seniors. You know, he has said that. And I think the mindset is finally clicking into these kids, you know, the ones that are coming and the ones that have been here. Like, yeah, man, we only get 12 more of these a year. I mean, 12 guaranteed. We only get 12 guaranteed. Excuse me. And so I think that the mindset is flowing. And I think all the pieces are moving in the direction that they need to. The reason I say that too, because you mentioned about Vavaco. Remember, Vavaco was there when Lou Holtz was there. He's seen Stonebreaker. He's seen Jerome Bettis. He's seen these dudes, you know, Ricky Waters, these dudes that were like, hey, we're coming here to win a national title. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was there while I think Tim Brown's a little older than the guys I just mentioned, but he's seen those glory days, man. We were winning big big bowl after big bowl, ranked in the top 5 year in and year out. And so I don't think Bavak was going to settle for less than that. You know, I think you're right. I think Swarbuck and OBK had it like, well, we're going to jump off of this diving board, but we're not going to go to the high one and take a chance right there. You know, I think that the pieces are moving into play where they need be, you know. And as far as this conference thing, it's been talks for years, Johnny, for years. And as things change, I get as the landscape change, as long as Notre Dame doesn't and sets that golden standard, man, we're gonna be fine, buddy. I really do. But I had to give you a hard time about the whole BK thing right now.
Yeah, it is. Listen, I do believe this. This is the most stability I've felt in the program on the field, off the field, and administratively that I've felt in 30 years. Things are lining up and they're the most stable, all pulling from the same end of the rope. It's the best scenario we've been in as a program in a long time. Now it's a matter of, can you get it over the ultimate hump?
Exactly. And two last things I'm going to tell you, Johnny, real quick. I seen the interview on one of these, the linebacker, and it was on a different podcast. And they asked him, hey, how is Coach Freeman? He goes, man, you know, a lot of men, you see him, you see him clap. You know, is he a Dabble? You know, like, I think Dabble's a little bit more colorful. But they said he's got crazy energy. And, you know, they said most time he's speaking to my parents. I talked to him and he's cool. He's got great energy. The kid was talking about in the podcast, but most of the time he's talking to my parents. And, you know, and I think that's why also the Poly pipeline and the Poly kids, the Tongans, the Samoans he's recruiting, because they're big on family.
Yep.
And down here, like I said, I played with a lot of them that went on to play in the NFL, that played for Pete, that played at BYU, that I can call. And one of them just got my nephew on a junior college team, man. Because my nephew, you know, wants to try out. He goes, hey, man, have him come out. And there wasn't no next to us. If he's good enough, you know, Renee, we got him. If not, you know, but those are those things that these boys, like I said, that people as a culture, especially, like I tell you, Fui Bakapuna is the athletic director for the football program under Tom Homo at BYU. He's a good friend of mine. That's who helped him. And he the speech he gave to all those kids is saying, this will end. This game will end. But as long as you got the talent, you know, of course, let's set yourself up for life with a degree, with whatever we can do. And I think those parents buy into those things, and that's why he's having an amazing job.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to be I don't want to overgeneralize, because I think that's kind of like a trope or whatever. But I've always felt when you get that like Samoan heritage guys into Notre Dame, it's a really good culture fit. They value family, they value respect, they value loyalty. There's usually a faith element to it. They're very respectful and they're tough as nails and never quit. Surprisingly, there's a very good crossover from that West Coast or Hawaii Samoan type culture into Notre Dame. I've always thought that's a pretty healthy crossover with culture. I like it.
Oh yeah, they love it. And you know what the funny thing is, that a lot of those kids play at private Catholic schools across the country and end up going to the programs. And it's like I tell you, St. Louis, I think, is a Catholic school because Hawaii is really poor. But like I tell you, like Manti said it best. What the coach told him, you know, I'm gonna be the next Raymond Lunga, I'm gonna be the next Jimmy Sarah. Well, man, and his track coach told him, the black coach. His track coach, the black dude, tells him, I thought you'd always be the first Manti Te'o. Manti Te'o would not have been Manti Te'o at BYU, man. He would not have been at USC. And I'm sorry, man. Like, that's the last defensive player really to have those many accolades, man. Like I said, I love that dude, regardless of the off-season, the off-field bullshit. He is, forgive me for my lack of better words, he's such an amazing player that got the wrong deal. One last thing. Johnny, like we talked about the players in D-line. Remember, Junior, Falamaka, Tonke too. He was third on the depth chart, man. R.J. Oben, we was wondering why we even think. Hey, man, Junior had an amazing breakout season. I can't verbalize it enough, man. I'm so proud of that kid. I'm so happy I got a photo and got to meet him down at the Sun Bowl, 2 years ago. And R.J., man, is what it is. When it came time, right? And we handed Georgia their ass right in their own backyard. Johnny, I'm excited. I am so excited for the future. More so, I'm excited that I'm able to watch it freaking 100% coherent sober, bro. It's going to be amazing, Johnny.
It's
Amazing.
gonna be, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see everybody. It should be good weather. We're all going to have fun. It's going to be great, man. Anything planned for the weekend? You going to make some moves? What are you doing? Getting in some trouble or what?
No, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna buy my mom. My mom's like she likes to find little treasures. I'm gonna go buy a Ross gift card and buy her some roses. Tell her love you for Mother's Day. I'm gonna do a few cold plunges, Johnny. I did a cold plunge in like 40-degree weather, but I have an ice bath my daughter made me, so I like to cold plunge.
Oh, that's
I cold plunge
nice.
a bit, and there's snow right now. There's snow right now coming down the mountains in southern Utah, and so I think I'm gonna get in a real cold, freezing river, Johnny. So hey, let's get crazy, Johnny.
Man, I like it.
PK attitude, but
I like it. Hey, man, I'm glad you're feeling
What?
strong. I'm glad you're feeling healthy. I'm glad you're living clean, man. It's great to hear.
Johnny, thank you, man. Thank you guys. Chat, man. Johnny, love you, man. Onward, Notre Dame, man, to glory. We'll see you,
Have a
buddy.
good one. Take it easy. Man, I'm just telling you, we got a couple people here. Nick, I'm coming to you. We got a couple people here, man, out on parole. I just want anybody coming to the tailgate. I want to make sure you're legally allowed to leave the state. You're in and travel. I don't want anybody getting tracked down at the old tailgate. I want to make sure everybody's allowed to travel between states. Johnny Zipline. It just sounds like a bad idea. It just sounds fun. The one time something would go wrong with that rope, it would be when my stupid ass is on it, and I don't need that trouble. I'll take John turkey hunting next. I could only imagine how that would go. I'm sitting there waiting for a turkey with my bow and arrow in the woods or something. The thing will probably come from behind me and start pecking my head. Something bad had happened. I'll catch a stray arrow to my skull or something. I'll be on here like a cartoon where the arrow's coming through your head. Oh, trampolines, you're asking for trouble. Come on, man. Trampolines, you're asking for trouble, bro. It's all fun and good till you do that double, triple roll. You hit that thing once and you bounce right into the side of the house. You get your leg, you're bouncing, everything's fine, and then your leg goes, you don't realize it, and one of your legs goes at the end of the trampoline where the strings are. Say goodbye to your ability to reproduce. Trampolines are dangerous. Come on, man. They really are. What am I going to do on a trampoline anyways? Walter! He is our resident skateboarder. Make USC come to South Bend Thanksgiving weekend, and I'll be okay joining the Big Day. They don't want to be cold. I'm from LA, and I don't want to be cold. Shut up. You ever notice it's BS? The only time that they come, it's usually like October. The first, it isn't that cold. Come on in here in November. They're not going to be able to get away from that now that they're in the Big Ten. You're going to have to go on the road at some point, and it's going to be cold. So you ain't going to be able to, I'm telling you, man, my ear hurts. Trampolines are backbreakers if you ain't careful. What do I look like? I'm not training for the Olympics gymnastics. What does a 40-year-old need to be on a tramp for anyways, so to speak? What do I need to be on that for? You guys are making me feel like I'm lame or something. I don't know. Maybe I am. Getting old. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. What's up?
Hey, not much. Just a couple quick things because I got to get back to work. Number one, TJ Carr is my pick to be the quarterback, but Kenny Minchie and his athleticism can make a big statement. So I don't think the duel's done yet.
Yeah.
Number two.
That's going to be interesting, Nick, and you're not going to have a lot of time to figure it out. Perhaps the staff knows what they want to do more than we do. I don't know, but you're only going to have, a week and a half, 2 weeks at the most in August before you're going to have to name a number one and give them all those snaps. You're not going to have a long time to figure this out.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing that bothers me. Everybody's saying, oh, it's CJ Carr's team. It's CJ Carr's team. Kenny Minchie's been there a year longer. I understand, and I think it should be CJ Carr's team, but I think Kenny Minchie's going to have a little bit to say about it before it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And the other question I have is, even if CJ wins the starting job, I wonder if there is going to be a little Kenny Minchie package or not. And I don't know whether that's a good idea. I don't know whether it'd be a bad idea. I don't want to create a controversy. Here's the other thing I need to be open to, Nick. Whenever I've talked about this, a lot of people have said that Carr is a lot more athletic than people realize or want to give him credit for as far as mobility. I'm open to that too. I'm open to that too. So there's a lot of possibilities here to see how it all works out, and not a lot of time to figure it out when we rejoin in August.
The other thing is, either one who wins it needs to understand this is Jeremiah Love and Aeneas Williams and oh my gosh, the other running back. This is their show this year. I can't think of the other running back's name.
Yeah, it's man. Okay, offensive line, Nick. I gotta have that offensive line healthy and put together to have the confidence that those guys are just going to take off.
Yeah, but Johnny, we got a 5-star coming off the bench. Will Black is going to be coming off the bench.
It's true.
At least until somebody gets hurt.
It's one of my big questions is they say that guy is ready and his footwork is great and he doesn't have the problem that a lot of young offensive linemen do where they have to grow into their bodies for a couple years to be able to go out there. You don't have that issue with him. But he's not going to be on campus till what, June? And I don't know how long it's going to take that guy to get going at offensive line. A lot of freshmen don't play for a reason. So I don't know how that'll go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's coming off the bench. And then our linebackers. I mean, can you name another linebacker room that is as loaded as ours? I can't.
Yeah, it's going to be, here's the challenge, Nick. You have a lot of different guys that could validate playing time. How does the staff figure out the right blend of who to play when and who to play where so that everybody's involved and it maximizes the output? That is, I think, the challenge because you have so many guys you think could contribute at a high level. How do you piece that together where people are all bought in and you maximize what you get?
That's true. But I don't think we can go wrong in our linebacker room. But there's one other thing I want to bring up that the chat has been talking about. I would love to see if Notre Dame and USC stop the rivalry, Notre Dame goes straight to Michigan and say, we want you back on our schedule. We don't care what we have to do. We want you back on our schedule. Because that growing up for me was awesome.
All right. Now, let me ask you this. If the reason USC is going to drop Notre Dame is because of the Big Ten, wouldn't Michigan just be like, yeah, it's the playoff era. We don't need to stress ourselves more than we need to. Why would we do the same thing USC just wanted to not do? Right? Like, I don't know if they will want to do that or not. Or maybe they're like, why do I need this? Like, why make our lives hard enough? The Big Ten's hard enough. We don't need you. And Michigan is back on the schedule in like 32. We go to the Big House. They are on future schedules, but it isn't till like 32. Shit, I might be dead by then. Who knows?
Yeah, but I loved that rivalry. That was one of my favorite games. Always the second game of the season. Usually the second game of the season for both teams. And it was like, okay, we won that first, game against Indiana State University and, Michigan played Grand Valley State or whoever it was. And then that's the big game. That's the real test right there.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah. Do you remember if people are younger than me, Nick, they may not remember this. Remember those early Notre Dame schedules that were so Big Ten loaded before they got into conference play? It would be like Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue, Penn State would be like the first month for Notre Dame. Like, do you remember those days?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then, later in the year, you'd catch like a Texas A&M or a Texas or an Oklahoma, when they were supposed to be, having an off week or whatever, but they wanted to add a game against Notre Dame. And that was awesome. I love those schedules. You have 6 or 7 big games in there. So
Yeah.
wait a second. You made a little comment on your Patreon about how old I am. I'm only 10 years older than you, Johnny. That's not much. That's not much.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. It had to be in reference of something. Hey, I'm getting old, man. This Notre Dame stuff, it wears me out. The Brian Kelly era aged me 2 years for every 1 year it was in reality.
Yeah, me too. And 2016, I think it was 5. My wife says, I'm so glad that Marcus Freeman came along and calms you down a little bit, and you can see what he's trying to do, which that's what's got me so excited. You can actually see. Even Kent, who doesn't want to say anything, can appreciate the program that Marcus Freeman is trying to build. Because, let's be honest, it's based on Jim Tressel.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You can't deny it, and I would hope that Kent would appreciate it, but he probably doesn't because, it's Notre Dame, and he can't give Notre Dame any kind of credit.
Yeah, but
that's okay. It's Kent.
Yeah, it is. And he does. Oh, man, he's got a soft spot for this chap for some reason. So I appreciate the Ohio State people that are here every day. Like I could never imagine a scenario where I, as the Notre Dame guy, spend a lot of time on another team's channel. It means the world to me, actually. It's a very big compliment. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's cool that he's here. I like him. I want to meet him someday. Maybe at the Purdue game. I don't know.
Yeah.
He probably won't come to that.
Hey, Nick, I got every time I see you and the wife, she and I talk about some creative stuff, and I've got another project idea I might want to run by you guys. I think she would appreciate you too.
Okay. Anytime, just drop it into my email, and we share that email, so she'll see it probably before I do.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that because an idea came to me and it's building a little momentum. But it's a big undertaking, but something that's kind of in my heart now. I'll reach out to you guys, see what you think.
All right, man. You have a good day, and I got to get back to work.
Get back to work. Have a good one, and take care, Nick. Right. You are great. And again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Jesus, everybody that deals with this group, your wife, your mother, whatever it is, God bless them, man. It's a rough go for a lot of them. 832, you're coming up. Make USC come to South Bend Thanksgiving weekend. And I look at this. Look at this. Have you ever been hiking for morel mushrooms? We can even fry some up afterwards. At least you'll be on the ground. Now, Phil. Man, we're hitting all the extremes. On one end, people want me to base jump off a cliff with a sheet and a rope and hope I don't die. They want me to zip line. They want me to go in a dunk tank with sharks. They want me to skydive and jump out of perfectly functioning planes for no reason other than entertainment and adrenaline. So we have that end of the scale. And then Phil's over here wanting me, what do you want me to hunt a mushroom? The thing doesn't even move. So then he wants me to hunt for a mushroom growing out of a pile of dump. And then we're going to fry them up. I said it before. The next time I eat a mushroom, I better be seeing leprechauns and unicorns and rainbows and pots of gold and all sorts of colors and a kaleidoscope. I know what do you fry up a mushroom? What do you think? I'm nuts? That thing, No. I better feel like I'm at a Grateful Dead concert in 1973, 10 minutes after I eat that mushroom, or I ain't doing it. Look at this. 832, I'm coming to you. Wine and cheese. This is one of my favorite comments of the day. John's version of doing something crazy for an adrenaline rush is listening to Adrenaline Rush by Twister. You damn right. Remember the other day when I was talking about my SUV and I had the 20s on it and them subwoofers? Oh, you better believe we are bumping that Adrenaline Rush. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Adrenaline Rush. And then the bass kicks in. You know that beat. Yeah, that's a good one. As far as my stage name for the stand-up, Receding Carrot Top is up for consideration. That's a good one. Got to consider that. 832, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, John?
What's going on?
Not much, man. You know, I've just been thinking a lot about like just how lucky we are to have a coach like Marcus Freeman. You know, and I feel like he's going to be like a staple of college football. Like maybe not to the like legendary degree of Nick Saban, but I think that he's going to win. I think we're going to win quite a few national championships with Marcus. And I think that like from my perspective, one of the reasons why I'm so like happy we have a guy like him is my lifetime I've had two Notre Dame head coaches, and it's Charlie Weiss and Brian Kelly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks younger than you that all they knew, think about it. If you were like early 20s when Freeman took over, that means that for the whole time you were old enough to understand anything about football, it was only Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, and you had nothing else to compare anything to, so you didn't even know what you were missing because you didn't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah, it almost makes like some of the Notre Dame hate for like my generation of like opposing fans kind of a little more credible, because like Brian Kelly's such an unlikable person, and he just seems like an unhappy guy to be around.
Yeah, it is.
And Marcus Freeman, I would say, is just the exact opposite of what Brian Kelly's like.
Now listen. I want to be fair, and I've always said this about Swarbrick and Kelly. Did a lot of good things. I credit them for the good things they do, and I'm very, very hard on them for the things they did not do right. And I want to be fair to Brian Kelly. He inherited kind of a nightmare, built Notre Dame's culture back up to a somewhat stable place after some rocky ups and downs. And he did some really challenging things behind the scenes, getting Notre Dame modernized with training table and a lot of behind the scenes stuff he didn't get credit for. He put the infrastructure in for. He deserves a lot of credit for that. But the reality is the relationship ran its course. And it's healthy that everybody left. Even as solid as the culture felt, something felt like it was missing. Did it not? Like it just, even when things were pretty good, you didn't feel like there was that juice around the program.
Well, and there wasn't, at the beginning of every season, it's like, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of, like real confidence going into the season. You know, it's like, you almost know that there's going to be like one of those Notre Dame type games where it's like, you're just underperforming and playing down to the opposition. And I feel like with Marcus Freeman, there's like a good reason to have confidence going into a season where we can just be dominant. We don't have to be like hesitant of being a good football team.
Yeah, here's the issue. You got to get this thing over the final hump. Notre Dame is close. How do you win a championship? You got to win. Like you're close. How do you get it over the edge? How do you get it over the edge? And you're entering the winning window. Freeman's no longer a new coach learning or whatever. You have skins on the wall from the playoff. Like you're entering the winning window here these next few 3-4 years, whatever it's going to be. You're in there. You got to get this thing over the hump. You're close. Closest you've been in my lifetime that I can remember.
Yeah, I think you get it over the hump with recruiting. And I think this being this will be the first full year of all Freeman guys, I think. And I think that we're getting a much higher floor on our roster, where before guys that were making the team, I don't really think we're even looking at them anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but it's like, I feel like we don't have, no disrespect, but I feel like we're not getting any scrubs on our team. Like all of our guys that we're going and recruiting right now are all ballers.
I feel
They're
like
all
under Freeman, the evaluation job this staff has done under Freeman has been very, very good. They genuinely do look for certain traits and athleticism and a type and stick to it. They've identified many guys that were not highly rated, and they get on the field and they play like 4 and 5 stars for Notre Dame. That's one of the biggest things I think the Freeman era staff's being good at is evaluating, and they're doing a good job there, man. It's all literally, you got to get it over the hump now. That's where you're at. You're right there, and you got to push this thing across the finish line, and then Freeman gets a statue, and we have a big party.
Yeah, it'll be great. Last thing is I'm making the trip from Texas to the Syracuse game in November. How cold is it going to be, John? Is it going to be freezing, or just a little cold?
That time of the year, you could get anything, man. It could be a mild, windless 40-degree day in November in Indiana, or it could be freezing cold, snow and wind. When you get that late in the schedule, you don't know what you're going to get, man. I've golfed in December before around here. Like, you never know what you're going to get. So you got to bring a bunch of layers. You got to bring a bunch of different outfit options and layers, because I'm telling you, that time of year, you never know what you're going to get. It could be great or it could be bad. You have no way to know.
You think the golf courses are still going to be open?
Probably not that time. Probably not. And people are going to be parking on the one you're going to be right by anyways. But I'm just telling you, when you get that late in the year, you literally have no idea what you're going to get. You got to prepare for everything.
Well, I mean, if anybody gets a chance to get up to the Warren golf course early in the season, that's one of the nicest golf courses I've ever played at. So,
yeah, it is. Warren, that place,
awesome spot.
It is. The Leahy house that I stay at, the McBride family in town, the golf course right across the street, and it's just beautiful. I just like waking up there and looking at it in the morning. It's nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, John. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, man. You have a good one.
Have a good one, buddy. How much time you got, buddy? Yeah. I'm thinking of that Chappelle skit again. How much time you got, buddy? His eyes are all rolled back. How much time you got, buddy? Swan Dong. Inappropriate name. I'm very offended by this. I don't think the new Pope would approve. Would you rather eat, this is the football discussion you have in May. Would you rather eat 6 blazing wings from Buffalo Wild Wings or eat a whole jar of mayo with a spoon? Give me the blazing wings. Give me the blazing wings. Mayo is disgusting. It is exclusively a food for overweight people. I don't understand what it is and the point of it. It looks gross. I never see anybody in shape that is nuts about mayo. Ask yourself in your life. I don't know anybody in shape that needs mayo involved in whatever they're doing. I don't do mayo at all. I don't understand the concept, and I never have. And I will barf. I think I'll barf. It's like cottage cheese. Health people eat cottage cheese. Cottage cheese literally reminds me of barf. Chunks of barf, like little chunks. It's like going in, what's going out. It's like barf. So I'm not doing the mayo. I can't do it. Mayo Clinic, I hope I don't need that either. Give me the blazing wings. Now, here's the problem. I don't know what's going to happen after I eat the blazing wings. I need to make sure we're near a toilet. We better position ourselves at Buffalo Wild Wings where I have a straight shot, because I don't know what's going to happen. And whatever. But I will go with the blazing wings. And I'm also assuming you're going to let me drink. I assume you're going to let me have a drink to wash that down. But I will barf if I eat mayo just from the looks of it. It looks nasty. I'm not doing it. No. So I'll go with the wings, dog. And I'll just take the consequences of whatever happens with my innards that I think would be in big trouble. What do you put on a tuna sandwich, Johnny? Nothing, because I'm not eating a tuna sandwich. It smells like a sewer vent. What are you talking about? No. No. A tuna sandwich. It smells like a dumpster. No. Tuna sandwich. What do I look like? Some sort of shark? I ain't eat no tuna sandwich. Are you out of your mind? What do I dip my wings in? My mouth. Nothing. Why does everybody need a dip? If I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, here's what I'm getting. The honey barbecue, whatever. And it's got a little spice, but it isn't overly spicy. And it has the honey sweet. I'll do the honey barbecue. I don't dip it in nothing. Why does everybody need extra stuff? No dip. I don't need a dip. No, I don't even eat ketchup with fries a lot, you guys. I just don't need it. You all need way too much. Just give me fries are good enough as fries. I don't need to dump them in nothing. No. Ranch is worse than mayo. Are you out of your mind, Adam? Ranch is worse than mayo. I'm going to barf just thinking about it. Blue cheese sounds like something made in a lab that I wouldn't trust. It just sounds like something made in a lab that I wouldn't trust. My ear hurts, says Johnny secretly likes something. Yeah, me and Jared, we exchange footlongs. What do you want me to say? Like, what do you, come on. No. I don't need no dip. Who asked? What did you guys ask? Somebody, you eat ketchup with fries? Sometimes I'll eat ketchup with fries. So I don't know, man. It is I don't know. It's who asked? Was it Adam? Wait, what did somebody ask? If I would have an oyster or what? I lost that. Whatever it is, not the oyster. Not the oyster. I can't do the oyster thing. I just can't do it. It's the slimy membrane. I can't understand the phenomenon. And the other thing is, people die from eating those oysters, bro. They die. You always see them stories in the news. They're like, what did you eat? They're like, raw crawfish out of the sewer in Louisiana. Yeah, no wonder you're dead. I ain't lactose intolerant. I'll drink a chocolate milk. Tuna and oyster, would you rather? I guess tuna. I'm not going to be able to get the oyster down without barfing. Sushi, I'm sure if you gave me the most Americanized version of it, whatever that is, I could probably get that down. Caviar, I don't even think I want to know what that is. Isn't that just like a fish dumps out their baby eggs on the table and you eat it or something? I don't understand. What is calamari? Is that some sort of baby fish egg or something? No. You guys, get out of it. Come on, man. Sushi or calamari, I don't know. Isn't calamari like the thing that looks like a squid or whatever? Why can't people just eat normal stuff? There's this one bar we go to right on the water in Florida, and it has a huge oyster bar near where we sit. And I'm telling you, the old people, you know what I'm talking about. The old money Florida people, the guy tan looks like a leather belt from the 40s walking around, and you should see the way they look at them oysters and pick up oh, Gladys, we got to get this one. There's a big juicy one. Disgusting. Banana, the texture of banana going to make me barf. The texture of a banana is going to make me barf. Watermelon's easy. Cream cheese, no. Anyways, I like that. Is it sturgeon? You guys are getting fancy, bro. D-Hawk, you know what I'm talking about, man. Down in Florida, everywhere I look, you see some old boy who's been sitting in the sun, been retired for 40 years, man. That dude looks like a pair of cowboy boots from the Yellowstone era, dog. It really does. The worst food ever is mushroom from a texture perspective. Dude, oysters has got to be it to me. It looks like a mucus membrane never meant to be consumed. And rich old people act like it's a delicacy or something. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Singletary, can't do it. Dioc, I'm telling you, man. These people, they're staring at him. Which one do you want or whatever? And I walk by where this is to go get to the bathroom, and I'm looking at all these old people. Their mouths are salivating over these raw oysters, and it just looks like you went into a creek and grabbed a thing and broke it open and said, here's your dinner. That'll be $100. Oh, I could do a Chinese buffet. I'll be very clear, though. Rice, and orange chicken, and whatever them fried donuts are. I don't know why, but every Chinese buffet's got like a little thing of fried donuts or whatever. Give me some of that. But I just do the rice and orange chicken. That's all I'm eating. No lobster or crab legs. I can't even tell you the last time I tried any of those. I don't even remember what it is. But I've always had a problem with Red Lobster. Number one is, if you ever go into Red Lobster, you be confused and think it's a funeral home. Because there's nothing but there's an 80-year-old age limit to go eat a Red Lobster. I don't understand why old people like Red Lobster that much. But you got to be 90 years old to go to the Red Lobster. You walk in the Red Lobster lobby, and the first thing you smell is dead fish. Welcome. You just smell that dead fish smell. Makes me want to yak. Then I look over at the side, and there's a dirty fish tank with the things in there I'm supposed to eat for dinner. Bro, I don't need that. When I go get a burger, I don't want to see the cow milling around in the lobby. All right? So, and it never looks clean. The tank's never clean enough to me, and them poor things are clawing around. The same old people sucking down them oysters or looking at them crab. I think I want that one, Jerry. Grab that big fat one out of there. What do you mean there's grime all over the thing? And then it's overpriced as could be. And you're going to leave with bad breath from whatever they put in them biscuits. That garlic in them biscuits will follow you around for a month. Unbelievable, man. I do it, bro. I just can't. I've never understood the Red Lobster thing. It is so rough, man. It is so rough in there. I just don't understand. So I don't know, man. What I've been eating lately since I've been working out and getting in better shape, I'll tell you. Steak and eggs in the morning, steak and rice in the evening. There you go. And chicken. Like chicken, I'll cook up chicken breast, steak, and then rice and eggs with it in the morning. No fast food since Blue and Gold weekend for John. None. No fries. None of them soggy hash browns I was mad about at McDonald's. Jerky's good for that. There's definitely food here, but I get the part that I want to eat, and then everybody else can eat the part they want to eat. I don't know, man. I got a normal fridge. Yeah, I'm married, Ronald. Who are you married to? The Hamburglar or what? Ronald, she's been on the show multiple times. If you were a loyal listener, you would have seen her. She's been on the air multiple times. Kidding me? Rice is good when you want to eat 5,000 or something. I like the rice. You can't go wrong. It fills you up. It has basically no taste. It sounds good to me. So whatever, man. No, Kent. I'm not going to the store and getting 8 pounds of filet mignon. I go in there and I get the cheap sirloin steak, season it, chop it up, cook up a couple pounds, and then I use that throughout the week for my meals. I'm not acting like I'm buying the fancy filet mignon or any of that. I ain't doing that. I just get the cheap sirloin and cut it up, whatever's on sale. I don't know. So whatever. It is turkey or ham for the holidays. I could eat turkey or ham. I will say this, though. Turkey's a little overrated. If we're being honest, turkey is a little overrated. Not much taste. And it has that chemical that makes you tired. That's why everybody's uncles passed out in the Lazy Boy after Thanksgiving. I'm going to say this too. I'm going to put myself out there. Thanksgiving it's an overrated meal. It's turkey, fairly tasteless turkey, and then like potatoes. Like that's not that rare of a meal. Tryptophan. What it sounds like a name of a tryptophan. Sounds like the name of a dinosaur from the Stone Ages or something. Turkey's overrated, not a lot of taste. I don't like that it makes your relatives stick around longer than they normally would. I don't like that. And there's some weird stuff with green bean casserole. Yeah, green bean casserole. No, thanks. I ain't eating that. No. I don't do that. You could keep that. So smoked turkey, you could do whatever. I like Pat's breakfast. Pat makes the best breakfast, man. When you are hungover as shit and you wake up and Pat's around, you wake up, he's like Chef Boyardee, bro. You're over there hungover with a pounding headache. And you wake up and you hear this delicious breakfast. It's like Pat works at a Waffle House. You go in there, he's got the chef hat on. Oh, he's got hash browns going. He's cooking eggs. He's got sausage. I'm telling you, Pat's the best guy to be hungover and wake up to. And I know that sounds the wrong way, but you know what I mean? In college, you're all partying, you crash somewhere. I can't tell you how many times I woke up hungover to Pat cooking a delicious breakfast spread. Clam chowder. That sounds like something you type into the internet late at night. I ain't looking to, No. Kent, I'll come to your Thanksgiving. Your poor family's going to be like, Kent, I'm glad you made new friends, but really, this is the guy you're going to bring? Oh, man. Yeah, I eat scrambled eggs with a little pepper, man. That's the other thing with eggs. When I say I eat eggs, bro, I don't understand them people that eat eggs when they're all runny and whatever. It's like, I just picture like a runny baby chicken in there. Like, I know those are the eggs that aren't fertilized or whatever, but I just picture when I see them runny eggs, I literally picture like that is a scrambled dead baby chicken. And I can't eat it. And it's all slimy and I don't like the slime factor. There's a lot of things, man. What is this going to turn into? Every Friday night, we just do or Friday morning, we do a food review the last half hour. It's pretty damn fun, to be honest. But I'm telling you, Pat makes a good hungover breakfast, man. There ain't nothing like it. You wake up hungover as could be, and you just smell what Pat's in there. If you smell what Pat's got cooking, delicious breakfast every time, baby. Delicious breakfast every time. Can't just imagine me showing up to Thanksgiving. You're like, I got a new friend and you know, he don't have plans. Can he come over? Although, dude, Kent, I would be on my best behavior too. I would be on my best behavior. I'd be so nice and polite. I'd be thanking your aunt for the dish she brought. Like I would be totally normal. And you'd be looking at me like, John, this is not the John that I know. And I'd be on my best behavior, John. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to the gym to beef up. I'm out of here. I'm going to the gym to beef up. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the fun. Thanks for the calls. I love you guys. We will have a show that comes out right after the Getting Freaky for the Tiki announcement tomorrow. We'll have a video out for that. Stay tuned. I love you guys. This show's hilarious. I love this group.